Hey there, welcome to Hiker Homily number 46. And before we get into our topic for this issue of Hiker Homily, I wanted to let you know what I've been up to with this little clip. Hey there! I'm a little winded because I'm walking uphill. I know, what are those things? If you live in the valley, you have no idea what those are, but it's hills. Look at that. Hills. Hey, I'm at Black Diamond East Bay Regional Park, right around the city of Antioch, California. And we came into Concord because my son, the runner, and one of his friends on the team wanted to get some special inserts at a place there. And I figured while I was there, I might as well get some too. My wife, being a runner, also wanted to get some. So we all got some. And since the young runners had to do an 8-miler today as part of their assignment for the track team, we stopped here at Contra Loma Regional Park and Black Diamond Regional Park. They both are pretty much connected. And they're doing some running around the lake and stuff, and I am just kind of exploring, not really doing a major thing today, but because I am not used to the good old elevation changes, it seems major. But here I am on the Contra Loma Trail in Black Diamond Regional Park. Just wandering a little bit, probably put in a few miles. And that's about it. It's kind of good to get up here in the hills and do this. And the beautiful, perfect hiking weather in the high 50s with sun, but not intense sun because it's more spring, winter time. It's one of those, season things. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. See you later. So yeah, I had a little fun yesterday. My wife, my son, a friend of my son's who's also on the team with them, we all headed out to Concord. And I got some inserts that they worked good yesterday. Hopefully they continue to work good. And we'll keep working on those. Hopefully they'll work for me through the hike. So yeah, I've been doing that kind of training, and I need to get out a little bit more. It's only about 40 minutes to some of the little regional parks that are in the hills to the west of me, and I need to get out there more because that's how I'm going to get any kind of elevation training done. Any kind of trail with that kind of stuff, it's either going to have to be to the west of me, or I'm going to have to go to the east of me, because either way I've got foothills and mountains going that way. But right here in the middle of the valley, so yeah, it takes I'm going to have to drive to some of the stuff to get my body in condition to do some climbing. And I don't mean like climbing, but climbing. So I was going to do a certain subject, but then one just kind of hit me in the face this morning on some of the internet groups. So some of the hiking internet groups just cracked me up, I tell you what. Hikers on the trail, most of the hikers I've been on the trail, just outstanding people, just really friendly, just enjoying the outside. But some of the folks online, and I'm not going to say they're not real hikers, I'm sure they are. Most of them seem like they actually do get out on a trail and stuff like that. And face-to-face, maybe they're friendly folks. But man, online, sometimes they just do stuff that is just ridiculous. And this is one of the things. So the topic isn't just emergency contact beacons and that kind of technology that is out now for us hikers, but how the hiking community online anyway responds to just various things just so ridiculously and unnecessarily. That's really what it is. It's unnecessary. So first off and foremost, being an old school hiker myself, I learned to hike, in the 1980s and did a lot of heavy hiking through the late 80s into the early 90s, before career and a few other things kind of slowed me down on that, where I used to go out 3-4 times a year on some, fairly decent backpack trips in different places, for several nights in a row and things like that, several times a year. And then I got down to maybe every other year we'd sneak out for a night or something like that. So, old school backpacking, and back in those days, before the days of the internet and all that kind of thing. Yeah, the only emergency beacons that existed were the military had those for soldiers and for vehicles and things like that. You didn't get a lot of that for private hikers, and if you did, it cost you a pretty penny. But now they are again, they're still expensive, $300, $400, $500 range, some of them. But they do exist, and they are more affordable and more available now for hikers. And it's one of those things that, unless you're completely psychopathic about being ultralight, it's one of those things that if you can afford to get one, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have that just in case? Just like a first aid kit. Why wouldn't you, just in case? It is one of those things where it's like, I've got stuff in my house, like my fire extinguisher. I don't use it. I have yet to use a fire extinguisher in my house. Okay? But I have one, because if a fire starts in my house and I can try and stop it before it completely burns everything down, it's good to have, right? So why not? It doesn't, it wasn't that cost prohibitive. It doesn't hurt anything being in there. And that's how I look at things like first aid kits, and like I'm talking about this week, emergency beacons and stuff like that. On the Pacific Crest Trail, I will be carrying that I have pretty much decided that I will probably be carrying the Garmin Explorer Plus, because it allows, in fact, Dixie on Homemade Wanderlust just did a thing on it. She's carried it for most of her through hikes and things. It allows for two-way communication with your family, and your family can track how you're doing and where you're at and things like that, and just various stuff. And why not? It is not weight prohibitive. It is not, for me, cost prohibitive. I can do it. My wife has told me you got to carry one of those just for peace of mind for the family, and I'm like, I'm down with that and stuff like that. Now, am I going to tell everyone you have to do that? No, I'm not going to do that. But the thing that I have noticed is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're suggesting it or telling people, man, you really should. It's good, because there's nothing wrong with that advice and stuff like that. There are people out there who respond like you're some kind of Gestapo officer trying to force them with a hot poker into doing something. It's absolutely ridiculous how these people have a complete lack of self-control and inability to just like, nah, I disagree with that, and scroll on the internet. They just have to comment some kind of stupid-ass, smart-ass comment to someone who is not hurting anyone, giving this kind of advice whatsoever. Okay, there is no harm in saying, hey, I really suggest, folks, that you carry a emergency beacon. Just in case, because here's the thing that happened to me, and if that happened on the trail, ooh, that would have been bad. That's one of the examples we had this morning. A person's like, hey, this happened to me this weekend. If I had been on the trail, oh, wow, I would have been in a world of hurt. And that's one of the reasons why I carry an emergency beacon. And I agree with the person and stuff like that. Now, if you disagree with that, hey, you know what? Great. And you can even, if you just don't have the self-discipline to just like, not my thing, and move on, and you just have to leave a comment. It doesn't have to be an a-hole comment, okay? Just say, those just aren't for me, thanks though. What's wrong with that comment? Nothing wrong with that comment at all. You have gotten your point across that you don't agree with it, and it's just not for you. Off you go. You're done. But instead we get comments like, ugh, people did hike before the age of technology and before the internet. It's like, people didn't survive before that. There's no reason to leave comments like that. No one survived before the age of internet on the trail. Everyone was just... There's no reason to leave stupid-ass comments like that, because the person making suggestion has nothing to do with that. That's not what they're saying. That's not the intention of the post in the first place. No one was saying that people before this technology was widely available had a bad time on the trail or blah blah blah. They're just saying that, hey, now that it's available, it's kind of good to use. I mean, there's all kinds of technology nowadays that, yeah, it didn't exist before, and humankind is still spinning on and stuff like that. But the fact that we have the technology now doesn't hurt us any, and it sure doesn't hurt us to use the technology. So what the hell? Why can't someone suggest to use it? It's just ridiculous. So that's really my hiker rant on that. It's not just the fact that I do suggest, make your own decisions, and if you don't like it, okay. I suggest that if you're going to do any kind of long distance hiking in the backcountry, deep backcountry, I mean, if you're just going to be a day hiker and stuff on local trails, you'd probably be fine. More than likely, you're going to have cell signal and all that kind of thing. But if you're going to go into the backcountry for any kind of significant amount of time, I would suggest you carry one of these devices. Just in case there is an emergency and you are incapacitated, cannot walk or something, you've broken a leg or whatever, and can't get out yourself, you have the ability to call for help. Now, in the old days, did we have mirrors and different ways of doing that? And hopefully you left someone your itinerary so they know when you're going to be late, and hey, he was supposed to be back tonight and he's not back. Yeah, back in the old days we could do that. But now we have this new technology. We can carry these beacons, and why not? And so really that's my take on it. That's Hiker Homily number 46 is not only do I think it's a suggestion and stuff. There's my puppy dog Max, he came to visit. Do I think it is a reasonable suggestion that we carry those if you can, but there's absolutely no reason that if for whatever reason, and you're welcome to your reasons, for whatever reason, if you disagree and don't want to carry them, there's no reason to crap on people who do want to carry them and who suggest to others, hey, maybe you should carry this. It's kind of a safety feature. There's absolutely no reason to do that. Why do people in the hiker community feel the need to do that kind of thing? I just don't understand it. Get over it's just one of those things where just people's egos just get in the way that, oh, how dare this person say I should do something. It's just a general, hey, I suggest this thing. I just don't get why there are folks out there who, when they're on the internet and they know there's not really going to be any real consequence, no one's going to get in their face and tell them to F off or what the hell's wrong with you or something like that. That's when they're brave and they can do it. On the trail, most of them just shut their mouths and most people are very friendly on the trail and stuff like that, and they don't get into that kind of stuff. But yeah, on the internet, they suddenly have courage and they utilize that courage in such a ridiculous, childish way. I don't know why it's got to be that way. Hiking community, why has it got to be the way? And again, it's not really the hiking community. It's this little niche of people that are just out there on these groups, just ready to pounce on some of the most ridiculous things for the most ridiculous reasons, and they do it in the most childish way. Oh well. That's it for this time on Hiker Homily. Emergency beacons, look them up. Like I said, I will be carrying one on the Pacific Crest Trail. I have picked the Garmin InReach Explorer Plus. That's probably what I'll be carrying on the trail for various reasons, and I'll probably do a video on my PCT playlist. A little more detail as to why I picked that and stuff like that, especially once I get it. I can give a little thing. And eventually, once I've gotten used to using it, I'll do a gear review on it too. Probably after I'm done with the PCT will come that gear review, because then I'll have used it enough. Other than that, Hiker Homily 46 is done for this time, and we will see you, as always, by the way. Thanks for watching, and I do it every time. I have a small subscribership, so I don't usually get any kind of feedback on the videos and stuff. But if you do have a comment, even if it's a different opinion than what I've given out, if you do have a comment on it, you can get a hold of me at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com, or the comment section below, or on Instagram and Facebook at hikingforhealthca. And thanks for watching. As always, I always do appreciate it. Those of you who do watch, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.